Countdown to kickoff, heading out to Minneapolis, Minnesota with Tom Pelissero of Twin Cities ESPN Radio in Minneapolis. Brett Favre is gone. It seems like the best chance this team had to go to and win a Super Bowl was roughly 2 years ago when they had Favre and he had a breakout year. Signed Donovan McNabb. Are the expectations low this year for the Vikings?
Well, it depends who you ask. Outside the building, yeah, I think that, talking to people around the league, nobody's expecting much from the Vikings. They're almost universally picked to be the worst team in the division. But within the building, they still look around at some of the guys they have who may be in the final years of their prime, if not a little bit past their prime. They're still trying to win with, the Steve Hutchinsons of the world and Antoine Winfield. They don't want to admit that they're in rebuilding mode, but if you look at how they approached things in the offseason, and particularly in the NFL draft, it's tough to say that they haven't already begun that rebuilding process.
Now, I got to ask you, who do you think will be Donovan McNabb's security blanket? Do you think it'll be Percy Harvin or Visanthe Shiancoe? Who do you think?
I think it could vary week to week. It depends who the defense wants to take away. Obviously, Harvin's an explosive guy who does a lot of his damage when you manufacture touches near the line of scrimmage. But they do have Visanthe Shiancoe. They do have Kyle Rudolph. They do have some weapons. The biggest question probably about that offense is whether they're going to be able to balance the perimeter group, because Bernard Berrien's coming off of the least productive season of his career. He's 30 years old, vertical speed receiver who's lost a step. You bring in Michael Jenkins, who's more of a possession guy. Do they have somebody who is going to consistently be able to stretch the defense and not allow defenses to load up 8-9 in the box to stop Adrian Peterson? That's probably the biggest unknown among the skill position players.
Now, barring injury from Donovan McNabb, will the Vikings ever unleash Christian Ponder at any time this year?
It's a good question. By mid-season, if they're 2-6 or 3-5, I think that there's going to be a lot of pressure, for one thing, to play Christian Ponder. At the same time, they brought in Donovan McNabb. This isn't, Mark Bolger. This isn't somebody who's been a backup for a lot of his career. This is a guy in McNabb who is on a one-year contract and knows this might be his last chance to be able to play himself into a chance to start somewhere else eventually. I think the Ponder showed some positive things in the preseason. Still has a long way to go to get up to the speed of the game when he's in the pocket, but they didn't draft him number 12 to sit on the bench forever. If Leslie Frazier had his way and if there weren't a lockout, Christian Ponder would probably be the starter from day one. So, yeah, I could see a scenario in which if the Vikings don't get off to a good start, and if you look at their schedule at San Diego, then home against Tampa and Detroit, that could be 0-3 right there. And it'd be tough at that point to not start having rumblings about playing the younger guy.
Talk about the defense for a bit. Jared Allen, Kevin Williams, Chad Greenway, all still there, but they lost Ben Lieber, lost the other half of the Williams wall and Pat. How big are these losses, and is the defense more of a concern than the offense?
Health is obviously going to be a huge thing with the defense because you've got Cedric Griffin and Chris Cook both coming off of multiple knee injuries. That's the biggest question to me, is how that secondary is able to hold up, because really they didn't add any pieces. They tried to improve from within, hope those corners got healthy, promote Jamarcus Sanford, who's been a backup for the past couple of years, promote him into the starting lineup to replace Madu Williams. And then, you do have three new starters early on in the season along the defensive line. Kevin Williams is suspended. Ray Edwards is gone. Pat Williams is gone. So how does that group come together? If I had to bet on which side I'd be more concerned about, it would be the offense. But at the same time, there definitely are concerns on defense, particularly the back four.
Asher Allen, it seems like that guy who was very, very good in college. He was very good at Georgia. But he doesn't seem like he can translate it yet to 11 professionals on the field, I would say. At least that's my opinion from the outside looking in.
Yeah, and part of the deal with Asher is they've tried to play him outside, and he's not built in the NFL to play outside corner. He's a slot guy, a dime sub-package contributor, can play on special teams. But he's a third-round pick, so you were drafting him with the hope that eventually he might be starting. They're obviously still clinging to it. I wasn't 100% sold that Asher Allen would make this team this year because he missed, I think, 3 out of the 4 preseason games with a toe injury, and he's been limited in practice this week. I don't even think he's going to be up on Sunday.
Let's head out to our Facebook page, facebook.com/TYT Sports. Matt Bornerman, it looked like Bonerman, but it's Bornerman, on the Vikings to you. Why every time we get a new quarterback do most of the fans start chanting Super Bowl? Couldn't do it in 98, didn't do it with Favre. Do we really think McNabb is going to take us there?
Well, if you think McNabb is the key to the Super Bowl, I'd say you're nuts at this point based on what we saw last year from McNabb, but also just he's not a guy at this point who's going to elevate the level of play of the guys around him. He's a guy who can function in your offense, smart player, experienced, knows the scheme, but I think if we saw anything last year in Washington, it's that he no longer can play above the level play of his offensive line and his receivers. So, I think that it's probably in the short term, is it a better option than throwing Christian Ponder and being forced to play him in week one before you think he's ready? Yes, I think McNabb's a better option for that. But by no means do I think that he's going to be the missing piece to getting them to a championship.
What are the latest talks about the Vikings possibly making a move to Los Angeles?
Well, they're facing kind of a ticking clock here. They've got about 7 weeks left until the possibility of a fall special session would go away of the legislature here. That's what they've been pushing toward. They have a local partner in Ramsey County. They've pledged over $400 million, which is one of the biggest private commitments ever to an NFL stadium, but they can't seem to get the state legislature on board. There's legislative leaders that are pushing for a referendum where the voters would decide whether or not to approve the half-cent sales tax for Ramsey County, which, if you had voters vote on a half-cent tax to keep puppies, they'd vote against it. Nobody votes to tax themselves. There's a reason that this is a republic and not a democracy. You vote for the legislative leaders to make these decisions because the average person simply is never going to give up money for anything. And so that's kind of the bind they're in. They're trying to sell this thing to the public. There's pushback within the legislature. And after the season, they've got 8 games left on their lease. After the season, come March 1st, February 1st, they'd be the only team in the NFL without a lease.
That's unbelievable. Last question for you, Tom. Over under 7.5 wins this year for the Vikings.
It's a good over-under. I called a bunch. I did a poll of scouts around the NFL the other day. Everybody pegged in between 6 and 8. I would say 7 and 9. I don't feel comfortable betting the under, but if I had to, I'd take the under on 7.5.